How are you looking forward to being a part of the Fly this year?
Yeah, obviously didn't play last year, but heard some really good things about it. So I was just keen to get involved this year, try something a bit different format that I've not been involved in or anything yet. So yeah, it's exciting. Obviously, less than a week to go now, so just want to kind of get out there and meet up with the team face to face rather than just kind of over video so far.
Yeah. What have you made watching Sixes so far in general? What have you made of it as the of sort of watching it so far?
Just kind of fast and furious. I watched a lot of the GB team when they went to Portugal, and yeah, just up and down, more like basketball than what we used to playing kind of in the 10-a-side lacrosse game. So yeah, it just looks super quick and kind of all guns blazing, go to goal kind of game.
Yeah. Um, for you as well in particular, how are you feeling about having to play with a short stick for the competition? Is it going to feel a bit weird? Have you done much sort of? Have you had have you had a short stick in your hand much sort of recently at all?
Yeah, so it obviously changed going from playing defence with the 6 foot pole to the short stick. I played a couple of games short in the kind of Nemler summer/COVID league last year. I played a few games in that as a short stick. Yeah, last 2 or 3 weeks I've just been trying to get it in my hands a little bit and just get used to the size of it and everything, and yeah, be a bit of a different game for me.
How are you thinking that you'll cope with that move to a few different skills and a few different bits and pieces? Do you think it's just a case of once you sort of get used to it, it sort of becomes a bit more natural? The first bit will be a bit of a feel a bit weird, and then you can sort of get into it, and it'd be a bit more natural after that.
Yeah, I think defensively it'll be fine. I'm not too worried defensively. It's just more getting it into your head about how to play attack and positioning. Stick skills, I'm quietly confident about. I don't think there'll be too many issues, but yeah, just that positioning, spacing, and kind of the formations in attack that'll take a bit of time getting used to, I'd imagine.
Yeah, as I say, it's speaking to everyone. The listening to players who traditionally just play attack or just play defence, having to learn the new ropes of getting involved in those sort of attacking situations or defensive situations. Um, Again, how have you found that? Found it? Is it kind of a bit of a nice challenge having to think about something that you've never taken much notice of on that attacking side as much as you are now?
Yeah, I think just from the kind of few games I have played short stick, it's harder than you think. You think as a defender you'd have a good idea of what the attacker should be doing, but then putting those ideas actually into practice doesn't come quite as naturally. That's probably the main thing. So, and then taking that into the sixes format as well, it's obviously going to be even quicker. You don't have time to get a settled attack going. It's a run and gun type game. So yeah, you've got to. I think the people who will do best are the ones that can adapt quickest to the change.
Has it been working with the team as a group so far? In what meetings or group work you've been able to do so far, and with the head coaches, how's that been going so far?
Yeah, good. We've had a couple of Zoom meetings. Our team's kind of spread all over the country. We've got players from up in Manchester, then a few down in London, etc. So we really are spread far and wide. So luckily we managed to get together a couple of times on Zoom, have a kind of a team introduction, and then a bit more of a dive into how we want to play and our tactics that we want to play out of. And hopefully that just kind of gives us a bit of a basis when it comes to first meeting each other on the Friday, the fly, and getting through some practice sessions before we dive into the games then.
Is that kind of half of what it's about? Obviously not being able to have loads of time together training and working before that, you can't really go and put in loads of intricate detail into plans. You sort of, a lot of it, like I say, is about getting to sort of know each other a bit and then getting some basics in, and then you build from there.
Yeah, exactly. You can't be putting anything too kind of strenuous in there. That's going to take a lot of practice. We do have limited time together. Luckily, we've kind of got a group of guys where we've got a few of the guys from Stockport, and also they play box together, so they're going to work well. And then we've got kind of 3 of us from Eton Mersey that play together. So there are kind of pockets within the team who know each other's games inside out. And hopefully then we can just, the other guys can fill those gaps and they can bring some different experiences as well. And it's just going to be a case of, can we blend together really quickly on that Friday and hit the ground running?
Yeah, do you know, it's quite an interesting one, you know, with sort of generally all players coming together who've not played before, but on quite a few of the teams, there's some good link ups between, you know, 2 or 3 that may have played before. I don't know if you want to talk to us about what a couple of those players that you play with at Eton Mersey are like. So you got Josh Turner. What will he bring to the team? What's his game about?
Yeah, so he's a long pole like me as well, but so for him, he'll have the transition of going long pole to short stick, but he's played a bit more short stick than me. He's also a long stick midi, so he does a bit more attacking as well. But yeah, he's done a few box trainings and stuff, so he's quite handy with the short stick. I can see him going both ways, no problems, attack and defence, and just being a good asset to the team all over.
And then Will Brown, one of the youngsters, I think has just come through into the first team, has he, at Eton Mersey? What's he like as a player?
Yeah, Will was. This is kind of almost his first season of senior lacrosse, and he's progressed really, really quickly. He's been on our first team pretty much all season. He's just a natural athlete. He's tall, he's quick, never seems to tire. So I think we'll be really looking to use him between the lines. And yeah, he's just tall and rangy. He's hard to defend if he gets going, and he's strong enough to hold his own in the defensive end as well.
And as a group, you won the flags final last month. What was that like as a moment for you, getting to come back in and win that?
Yeah, it feels like it's been a long time coming. I first played in the flags final probably 10, maybe 11 years ago now. So yeah, to have the chance to play in a flags final again and kind of get through that and win it in a pretty nervy final, not one that we wanted to go the way it did, but we stuck in there and got the job done. It was a great feeling, good way to finish off the season. We just want to kind of build on that now. It's been a long time coming for Eton Mersey to win anything, and we want to progress and not just have that as a one-off.
Yeah, it gives it some good momentum as well, having got to that, like you say, a situation where it was a really tight game, sort of having to come through at the end. That's kind of generally as well what the Sixes generally is like at this level. You don't get too far ahead. The games are quite tight and it's all decided within like a few minutes. So that's some good prep for you guys for this competition.
Yeah, definitely. Just having that little bit of composure and the kind of experience of having been there and done it. We've got some other really experienced guys in our team. We've got the likes of Casey and goal, who's played for Wales at all kinds of international tournaments. He's going to bring a whole lot of experience to the defensive side of things, which is good having being able to turn around and rely upon your goalie back there.
And as the team captain, what kind of captain would you say you are? What sort of role do you take? Are you a sort of loud captain, or do you go in and motivate? What's your sort of general style?
It tends just to be lead by example. I'll leave this. Oh well, not even necessarily shouting or anything like that. I think the coaches will be more encouragement than shouting, but just a cool and level head. Really, I don't like to be giving people a kick up the backside or anything. It'll be an arm around the shoulder and just kind of a next play mentality. Like you said, in sixes, it's fast. It's often decided by 1 or 2 goals at the end. If you make a mistake early on, you just got to kind of shrug that off. And if people are struggling with that idea of it, I'll be the one to try and get their head around it and focus on those next plays.
Is that what you see as your sort of responsibility in being a captain, is to keep the team together and keep them through those sort of, those dips or those lows, those bad moments, and bring them back up to keep the team focused to the end, really?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just going to be a case of staying level. It's going to be a game of runs. If you can get 2 or 3 goals on the bounce, and then stop them scoring at the other end, it's big. So if you can get people's mentality right and get them staying level and get their heads in the game and moving forward rather than looking back on any mistakes or anything that's made, that's going to be a big part of it, I think.
And what are you most looking forward to across the weekend? What are you looking most to take from the whole experience?
Just the kind of, I've never been in a tournament in England like this where it's like 3 days on the bounce. A kind of different set of people all chucked together, pulled together into a team. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works. And I think as a format going forwards, it's got great potential. So I'm just hoping that it carries on working as it looked like it did last year. And I just want to be involved with that this year. And I'm really excited to see how we go this year and how our team does, especially.